Good evening, guys. My name is Lorena, and today I'm going to explain to you about how I believe the death penalty should be abolished or eliminated from the United States as a whole. The history of the death penalty is pretty long and brutal. From the crucifixion killings of the BC era to today's methods of the electric chair and lethal injections, the government has sentenced several people to death for thousands of years now. Many of us might think it is best to fall through with the death penalty. Some of us believe that it is very unhumane to do so, or not humane to do so. The death penalty should be abolished all over the United States because it will save the government millions of dollars. It violates the constitutional guarantee of equal protection, and life in prison is far worse of a punishment. Granted, many would want to debate about the death penalty being abolished completely. But today, I will reassure you that it would be best for the United States to eliminate the death penalty completely. The death penalty is far more expensive than a system utilizing life without parole sentences as an alternative punishment. Some of the reasons of the high cost of death penalties are the long trials and appeals needed for the person's life who's on the line. The need of more lawyers and professionals for both sides of the case and the relative rarity of the executions. In several cases in which the death penalty is desired, it does not end up being enforced. A huge amount of defendants who are sentenced to death actually end up spending their life in prison, but at a highly increased cost because of the death penalty being involved in the process. Not only does the death penalty consume several US dollars, the death penalty also violates the constitutional guarantee of equal protection. The death penalty system in the US is used in an unfair manner against the people. Innocent people are often sentenced to death. Around 1973, about 160 people had been released from death row in 26 different states from innocence. Nationally, only one person is dismissed from every 10 that are executed. People of color are also known to be far more likely to be executed than others, mostly if their victims are white. It is quite unusual that the United States, out of all the Western industrialized nations, participate in this punishment. It is also unusual how the death penalty is only random sampling of convicted murderers in the United States. Having the death penalty violates our constitutional guarantee of equal protection, but eliminating the death penalty and pushing life in prison would be a better punishment. Life in prison is a worse punishment and a more effective deterrent. Open quote. The facts prove that life in prison without the possibility of parole is swift, severe, and a certain punishment. The death penalty costs more, delivers less, and puts innocent lives at risk, close quote, stated the American Civil Liberties. A life sentence provides justice to the survivors of the murder and allows more resources to be invested into. Sentencing people to death is a safe alternative for the public and the murder victims' families. In short, eliminating the death penalty and having the defendant serve life without parole would be the best for our society and our country. In conclusion, death penalty should be abolished all over the United States because it will save the government millions of dollars, violates the constitutional guarantee of equal protection, and life in prison is far worse of a punishment. Eliminating the death penalty will help the government and other states save millions of dollars because it will erase the extended trials and lawyers needed for the defendant. Death penalty violates the constitutional guarantee of equal protection by having higher rates of colored people taken to death row and innocent individuals at risk. To top it off, life in prison is far worse of a punishment than death row because life without parole allows victim survivors to move on from their trauma, rather than being trapped for decades of court hearings and waiting for the execution to actually occur. Open quote. Life without parole is achievable immediately. The legislature could enact it on Monday. I would be able to sign the measure on Tuesday. It would apply to the crimes committed the next day. In fact, the only thing preventing the next cop killer from spending his entire life in prison is the politics of death. Thank you.